How's it going, guys? Cody, guys, back again, dropping another video. Right, guys, James Downing in the past 20 minutes has asked me to do a vlog on relationships, jealousy, and overall mental health in prison from obviously my perspective as a former prisoner. Now, when you go to prison, right, initially, this is aimed at those that the boyfriend might end up in prison, or you might end up in prison yourself, or families of prisoners that might get sent down for the first time and stuff, right? Now, as prisoners, right, as guys anyway, as men, right, we're the most insecure creatures on earth. It's a fact. We're beset with jealousy, insecurities, paranoia. We don't feel good enough. We always feel like we're punching above our weight with the girls that we're with and stuff. And like I say, when you go to prison, you don't have that control where, I'm not talking about everyone. Some people may be jealous, some people might not, but I'm going through my experiences, what I've seen, and also my own actions probably in a way as well. So it's, well, when you get sent down for the first time, or whether you're sent down 2 or 3 times, right? A lot of prisoners, not all prisoners, but a lot of prisoners have got a defense mechanism where they will push their girlfriend or their partner, because obviously you've got female prisoners with boyfriends, or you've got gay relationships, lesbian relationships and stuff. They start to push the partner away. Leave me, forget about me. And there's also prisoners that will just finish the relationship, because whilst you're in prison, the mental anguish that you'll go through, the jealousy, the paranoia and stuff like that, you're not in control, right? As men, we quite take charge in general, right? And if you're a jealous person as a free man, right? So obviously you're now in prison, but when you're as a free man, you're jealous, you're insecure, you're paranoid, you're controlling, you're possessive, right? Then when you're in prison, that control gets taken away from you. You can't get onto the phone to your missus every 2 minutes, right? Because unless you've got a mobile, right? But obviously you don't want to get extra time added to your sentence, right? So prisoners, what they'll do is they'll actively finish relationships, or they'll tell the girlfriend, leave me, finish me. Look, I'm going to be in here, just forget about me, you get on with your life, don't bother coming on visits, don't write to me. And it's a defense mechanism, because we're scared of being rejected, we're scared of being cheated on, and we're scared of being hurt, right? And like I say, for those that are controlling, possessive and jealous in general, I've come across a lot of them in prison and stuff. I turned into a jealous mess when I was in prison on my first stretch, when I had a girlfriend and stuff. I was accusing her of sleeping and cheating on me with this, that and the other. She was going out without me. My head, right, where I thought I was quite, I had insecurities anyway. I'm a man, we're all insecure, we're the most insecure creatures on earth. But when you're in prison, it goes to another level, right? Like I say, your jealousy, you start to think the most logical things ever. They're not logical at all, and you start to think these things, and then other prisoners, right, start talking to you. Listen, mate, she's going out on Saturday and stuff like that, right? Girls show off the best assets, right? If they've got great tits, they'll show off great tits. If they've got great asses, they'll wear something tight, or like a low short skirt or something. Like I say, some girls have got tits and ass, right? And they're obviously, cleavages are out. Not everyone. There's a lot of girls that dress quite like reserved and stuff, but there's also those that women like attention as well, like guys, and they'll show off their best assets and stuff when they go on the piss. And obviously guys like think with their brains, which are down there, and then like I say, it goes on that way. So when you're in prison, you're locked up, right? The punishment of prison is losing your liberty, right? Prison isn't about punishment. The punishment is losing your liberty. You can't do what you normally do. So if on the out, if you're trying to check your missus's phone and check a Facebook, and you've got a password and stuff because you're both jealous, you might both be jealous, she might be up to nothing, and you're still paranoid and you're still jealous. Like I say, when you're in prison, you can't do that. You can't go through a phone. You don't know what she's up to. You don't know who she's texting. You don't know who she's calling. Because you're in prison. And it doesn't matter how many times you ring, or the amount of times I've seen people rowing on the phone, where a guy's on the phone and stuff, and he heard a guy, he was on the phone to his missus, and he heard some dickhead in the background, right? And he was like, you're shagging him, and starts smashing the phone up, proper starts ripping the phone apart, you little slag and all this. And you're on social, so you can hear the argument play out. I've seen stupid amounts of rows on visits and stuff. And like I say, part of that punishment of prison is the psychological effect. Now, as prisoners, we do the whole macho thing. We don't talk about psychological effects and stuff. We talk about the good times because we don't want to focus on the negative times. Do you have negative times in prison? Absolutely. If you were in prison and you were in a relationship, will you go through more mental anguish, psychological anguish and emotional anguish and anger and frustration than you will if you are a single man? In my opinion, from what I've seen in prison and through my own experiences, absolutely. I was in prison on my first stretch in Strange Ways, didn't know my head from my arse. Everyone, when you're in prison on your first stretch, everyone's a solicitor. I was on remand. Everyone's giving me legal advice, what they can and can't do. I was clued up in a criminal sense, but I didn't know fuck all about prison. So I was new to that world, yeah, mate. And people were like, you've got a bird, mate. Nah, mate, you don't have a bird in prison, mate. Fuck her off. Numpty here. Listen to that. This girl was supporting me. She was fucking there for me. She did so much for me, right? And I'm there, babe. Listen, I know you're cheating on me. Listen, just you fuck off. Have a nice life and stuff. I was accusing her in letters. I was accusing her on the phone. She smashed the phone up because I was accusing her. And you know what? If I was on the out, I wouldn't have been anywhere near as bad. But because I was in prison, I was like a man possessed. I was like, listen, bitch, yeah, I know what you're up to. I know what you're up to and stuff. I know you're cheating. Don't chat shit to me. Right? And like I say, you think the most unrealistic, like crazy fucking shit ever. And like I say, I've seen arguments on visits. I've seen girlfriends write Dear John letters. For those that don't know, a Dear John letter is where you're in prison and you receive a letter from your girlfriend telling you she's finished you or she's sleeping with somebody else, right? Or you get a letter from your girlfriend's mate telling you that she went out, she slept with this guy on a weekend, or took someone back to hers, or fucked someone in a hotel, right? And like I say, you start accusing them of sleeping with a postman, your mates, their family members, the dog. You go fucking crazy. And like I say, the psychological toll it has on you. A lot of people that have been in prison that are offenders, before they've ever been offenders, guys, they've been victims, right? And what I mean by that is a lot of us have grown up in care. We've been born into abject poverty. We've not had the chances that everyone else has had. We're illiterate, right? I can read and write, but a lot of people in prison can't read or write. That we wasn't academic. We was born into abject poverty. We've grown up in care. We were sexually abused, physically abused, emotionally abused, etc., right? And like I say, when you grow up that way and you grow up hard, yeah, a lot of us unfortunately end up in prison because social and economic deprivation and opportunities are not there. So we take shortcuts to the top. We get involved in gangs and crime and dealing and fraud, and we have to make money and we've got to try and provide and stuff like that. And then, like I say, you've got like then you've got the kids in the relationships, right? So if you've got a missus that's got kids, or you've got kids with your missus and stuff, right? Some prisoners are like, nah, babe, don't bring the kids on a visit. I don't want them seeing me in jail. And I understand the logic, right? I get that, right? But then at the same time, if you're doing a long stretch in prison, you should have your children. Yes, it's embarrassing that your kids have got to get searched and they've got to open their mouths and they've got to get patted down and all that shit, right? But the facts are that you need to keep that connection with your children and stuff, because, like I say, as they grow older and their brains develop and stuff, you should. I don't have kids myself, yeah, man, but you need to keep that contact with your children. A lot of, I tell you what's a horrible thing as well, where I feel sorry for prisoners that have ended up slashing up and stuff, where their girlfriend, right, they've had an argument with a bird, right, they've come on the phone, yeah, and like, listen, you little slag, blah, blah, chat to me like that, and then what she does, she doesn't answer the phone, or she blocks the fucking number. If he's ringing her on a mobile, she blocks the number, so then he can't ring her back, right? So he's desperately trying to ring her back. So what do you think it does to his brain? You're locked up. You're like a caged animal. When you're behind your door, you don't know what's happening outside your cell door, outside your landing, outside the wing. Your head's pickled, right? And like I say, we don't go on about the psychological and emotional effect. Right, we're in prison. We fucked up. We broke the law. Not everyone in prison is guilty, though, because you've got people that are on remand. You've got miscarriages of justice and stuff like that. You've got people sent down on joint enterprise and stuff where they might be in the vicinity where one of their boys stabbed somebody else to death, but because they was there, they're an accessory, and they tie them all together under joint enterprise and stuff. You'll have to Google joint enterprise. And like I say, so we fucked up, we're in prison. But when your woman starts putting the phone down on you, or she ghosts you, for those that don't know, ghost means where you've got a visit at a certain time, you get all dolled up, you showered, you clean, you might have you've got your deodorant on or your roll-on aftershave if you bought some on a canteen, you get taken up to visits, yeah? In Strange Ways, you would go up to the visit and stuff, and you wouldn't know they wasn't there until they didn't check in. At Forest Bank, when I was in a Cat B, the reception would ring the wing once my visitor had arrived at the prison, and then I'd go up so I wouldn't get ghosted. But ghosted is where your partner doesn't turn up for a visit, and you can actually be sat there on a visit. Sometimes they'll keep you on the visit for 15-20 minutes, and when they don't turn up, say, right, go back downstairs, go back into the holding cell. Or they'll make, I've seen it where people have sat through a full visit with nobody in front of them, no visit at all, sat there for an hour whilst everyone else is like with their loved ones and stuff, and it's horrible to see. I've seen it where women have used their children as weapons and started saying, nah, you're not seeing him, nah, fuck that, you're not seeing him, your family, you're not seeing him, no, you're having nothing to do with him. And when you're in prison, right, all these problems are magnified by 1,000, by 1,000,000, right? And in prison, right, like I say, molehills become mountains. Mountains can make your head explode, right? I've seen people slash up. I've seen people smash the cell up. I've seen people smash the prison phone up. I've seen people kick off on visits. I've seen people just break down and cry. I've seen people get angry and smash the cell up. Like I say, I've seen people attempt suicide because the relationships whilst they're in prison, the turmoil that they suffer internally, psychologically, emotionally, like I say, and then they start slashing up and stuff. There was one kid that was smashing his pad up, yeah, he'd had a row with his bird, and then I said, bro, and he starts slashing up. I said, bro, no. So I ran to the screws office, yeah, because I was unlocked, he was behind his door, and I said, he said, bro, I just want to swap the emotional pain for physical pain, like as an outlet and stuff. I felt so sorry for the kid, because like I say, his missus had split up with him, or I think she split up with him or had a row, something like that. And she said, no, fuck you, I won't be coming to see you again. I'm blocking the number. And like I say, he can't ring her then. She can't ring him and he can't ring her. So then when it comes to Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, yeah, or it's a bank holiday, he's thinking she's out on the raz and she's sleeping with this man and that man. And you think the most, like I say, illogical things in your brain. And it's all brought on by your environment and stuff. And like I say, anyone that's had a relationship whilst being in prison will relate in part or fully or 100% to what I'm actually saying, right? Like I say, I push people away. I wrote a suicide note to my mum, right? I can handle my jail, but if I was to say to you that I wasn't down at different times within my sentence, I'd be lying to you, right? I can handle my prison standing on my head, but like I say, at certain points in your sentence and stuff, something will just tip you over the edge. You think, I can't do this no more. Relationships whilst in prison, right? I can understand completely while prisoners split up with their girlfriends. They don't want to. They don't want to lose that woman. They love that woman beyond anything. She's the most important thing to her, whether he's got kids with her, whether he hasn't. He idolises the woman that he's with. But as guys, we've got this self-destruct button where we're like, no, fuck it. I can't be in a relationship whilst I'm in prison. My head's gonna explode. My head's gonna pickle, pacing up and down a cell. Right? She's not written to me. Why is she not written to me? Right? Why is she not answering me calls? I'm ringing her on a Friday. Why is she not answering the calls? She must be sleeping with someone. She's with someone. And like I say, then they sort things out and then they argue, then they sort things out. Like I say, some prisoners just cut contact before they go to prison. If they know they're going to prison, they say, look, I'm sorry, I was in prison with another lad that was in the pad next to me, we was cleaners. He split up with his missus, he loved her to bits, good looking girl, but he said, for my own sanity and for my own brain, it's my first time in prison, but I knew that I had to do the right thing, because I couldn't put myself through it and I couldn't put her through it. And I understand the logic and stuff, but at the same time, if things are good, when things are good, it's the most amazing feeling in the world. Going on your visit, seeing your woman, grabbing some titty, eyeing her up, wanking yourself silly to her pictures because she sent you pictures in where she got a bit of nip or she's covering her tits or she got her ass out, she got a thong on or whatever, and you wanking yourself stupid to it and you love her and you cherish her. But when you have a row, all that goes out the window. And then when things are good, they're good. But when things go tits up, which they often do because of our possessive fucking like paranoid, jealous, possessive fucking freaky ways, right? And coming out with the most irrational, illogical things ever out of our mouths. And like, we're like, if we was free, we'd probably think it, but we would be nowhere near as intense as it comes across. And like you say, I've been jealous and stuff, and I've been paranoid and stuff, and it was part of my environment. Anyone that's been in prison will know exactly what I am referring to in this video, because relationships, they can be the most amazing things. Some relationships, it just works, right? It just works. Whether you're in prison, whether you're not, it works. For the most part, a lot of people that I come across have got mental health problems, whether diagnosed or undiagnosed. But as men, we are insecure. We get jealous. Anyone that says that they've got not an ounce of jealousy, I think is lying. Oh, I'm not jealous. I'm just territorial. No, you are. You're jealous. It's as simple as that. But like I say, we make up excuses for the way that we are. And like I say, relationships whilst in prison can be the most amazing thing ever. And it can literally be the difference between life or death, happy life, good moods, bad moods, right? Your relationship, the standing of your relationship reflects your mood in prison. If things are good, you're blessed. When things go tits up, it goes tits up in a very bad way. And like I say, I've seen people self-harm. I've seen people smash up the cell. I've seen people, like I said, swap emotional pain for physical pain. Because we can't handle it and stuff. We can't sort out that problem. We're caged. We can't go out. We can't go to a door and chat onto her and apologise and stuff. She's not answering the phone. You see what I'm saying? And you're locked in this with all these thoughts going through your head. And then you've got prison does funny things to you anyway. That's prison. And like I say, some people are going to say, yeah, but you fucked up. You broke the law. You're in prison. That's part of the punishment. And I agree with you in part. It absolutely is. But like I say, the psychological anguish, emotional, fucking physical moods and stuff like that, it's a roller coaster that it's so fucking horrible. When it's good and you see people loved up, it's the most amazing thing. When it goes tits up and that person's trying to threaten to take their own life or string up, that's where it gets serious and stuff. And like I say, I'm not exaggerating this. This is a true reflection of moods and stuff when it comes to relationships, jealousy, paranoia, insecurity and stuff like that. It's as simple as that, guys. On that note, guys, let me know what you think about the video. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Have you been in prison? Have you been a prisoner's partner? Have you supported him through a prison sentence? Family members and stuff like that. You'll have to let me know what you think about the video and stuff. I'm always interested to know from you guys. Put your comments in the comment section below, guys. Enjoy your Friday night. Stay safe, whatever you're doing. Like, comment, subscribe. Cody out.